I deliberately got full marks in the college entrance exam, just to get a little closer to Qingmei Road and Weiyuan. After leaving the exam room, her girlfriend smiled and reminded me. Campus Belle Lu said she didn't do well. Remember to hand in a blank paper this afternoon, or you'll never get a chance to fawn over her again. Looking at Lu Yui's disgusted face, I smiled on the surface and agreed, then turned around and called the butler, immediately canceling all financial support to her family and deactivating the black card I gave her. As a result, the campus belle nearly went to jail for dining and dashing. She called me 99 times in a panic asking for help. I coldly laughed and declined them all. Did she still think I was the same pathetic simp from before? In my past life, as the son of the richest man, I shamelessly groveled to the daughter of our driver, but in the end, it led to my family's downfall and destruction. When I opened my eyes again, I was reborn back to my senior year of high school. The scumbag Lu Yue stood proudly before me, telling me his stomach was upset again. Go buy him some stomach medicine and bring back some food from the canteen. Song Jingnian lay lazily on the desk, surrounded by people like a star among the moon. Lu Yue was Song Jingnian's girlfriend. In everyone's eyes, they were a perfect couple. While I was Lu Yue's brainless lapdog, dozing off in class every day, running errands for Lu Yue after class. Now that I realized I had been reborn, seeing Lu Yue's face again, all I felt was how ridiculous it was. Why should Lu Yue get to order me around? Lu Yue impatiently urged me, "Aren't you going?" Then she walked over to Song Jingnian. Song Jingnian hesitantly said, "It's not really okay to ask Jiangchun, is it? I better go myself." Lu Yue stopped Song Jingnian. "What's the problem? Jiangchun likes doing these things. If I don't let him, he'll be upset, right?" Jiangchun. I curled my lips slightly and silently headed to the canteen. This time, I queued up and got to meals. The students nearby looked over and chuckled. Here to bring food to Campus Belle Lu again, but the one she likes is Song Jingnian. She wouldn't be interested in someone like you. I asked in confusion, "What kind of person am I?" The other person sneered, "Aren't you just a servant? Going to school with the young lady every day. You really thought you could marry a rich heiress? Wake up already. Someone as stupid and useless as you can only ever be a servant to the young lady." I laughed in anger. Did Lu Yue tell you I was the servant's son? Before, it was because I liked her that I allowed her to ride my car to and from school every day. But now, in other people's eyes, Lu Yue had become the noble lady, and I had become the servant's son. When I asked that question, they rolled their eyes. What else would you be? Hurry and bring the lunch to the young lady. The bell rang for class. Lu Yue came out of the canteen, but still didn't see any sign of me. I didn't return to class. I sat down by the flower bed and ate both portions of the meal. I couldn't even remember the last time I had a proper meal. Because I had no money, I couldn't afford anything decent. Every time, I go to the market when it was closing and pick up the vegetables others didn't want. As for meat, I didn't even dare to dream about it. When I got back to class, the bell had already rung. Lu Yue angrily asked, "Why are you only coming now? Did you get the medicine?" I looked at her coldly. "What medicine?" "I told you to buy stomach medicine for Jingnian. I said he had a stomachache. Are your ears deaf or what? You can't even handle such a simple task?" I glanced at the pale-faced Song Jingnian. What relationship do I have with Song Jingnian? Why should I be the one to buy him medicine? Song Jingnian's family was just average ever since he met Lu Yue. She had treated him exceptionally well. Every time I had something nice, Lu Yue would take it and give it to Song Jingnian. Even the watch Song Jingnian wears now on his wrist. That watch is mine. These two were swiping my card, spending my money and enjoying everything I had, yet treating me like a servant. Lu Yue snapped, Fine. Jiangchun, if you're going to be like this, don't blame me for ignoring you next time. And don't come begging me for forgiveness then." I stared at Lu Yue at that moment, finding her words laughable. What exactly do I need your forgiveness for? What have I done wrong? Seeing me talk back to Lu Yue, everyone around turned to look. What's going on? Has Jiangchun, the simp, changed? Even Lu Yue was momentarily stunned. She remembered how I used to grovel to her. Then she confidently challenged me. "If you have the guts, don't go home with me this afternoon." I nodded, sure, as if I hadn't clearly heard what Lu Yue had just said. Our deskmate Wang Yan saw the scene and immediately stepped in to seek justice. Jiang Chun, what's wrong with you? She just asked you to buy some medicine. You couldn't even manage that. Can't you see Song Jingnian isn't feeling well? I glanced at her coldly. If that's the case, then you can go buy it now. But Wang Yan said righteously, this is something you're supposed to do. Why should I go? I sneered. I have no ties with Song Jingnian. Why should I buy medicine for him? Wang Yan pointed at me. You're the servant of Campus Bellu's family. Now she asked you to buy medicine for her boyfriend. Isn't that only natural? Hearing this, I turned to Lu Yue and asked Lu Yue, are you the one telling everyone that I'm your family's servant? My gaze locked straight on her. Lu Yue looked a bit guilty. It was all because people saw she always had a fancy car picking her up and assumed it. She just never explained it. There was no way she could tell others that her father was just a driver. Now I was making a scene here again. At this moment, Lu Yue walked over and said, forget it. You didn't buy the medicine. I'll go buy the medicine myself later. Lu Yue quickly added, it's fine. It's normal that he doesn't want to buy medicine for Song Jingnian. Then she asked, did you at least get the lunch? If not the medicine, you must have bought food, right? She heard from classmates in line that I had gotten to portions of food earlier. I calmly replied, yeah, I ate them. I ate both portions. A classmate in front laughed and said, what are you? A pig? You could eat to full meals. They were used to following Lu Yue's lead in mocking me. In the past, I gave them face because they were her friends. I tolerated it out of respect, but now I realize I just spoiled them too much. I calmly said, I spent my own money. Not just 2 portions. Even if I ate 20, it would be my right. The classmates in front turned pale at my words. Your own money? Isn't all your money from the Campus Belle's family? I didn't bother explaining, but Lu Yue, next to me, was already fuming, especially because I hadn't gotten her any lunch, causing her to go without food. Jiangchun, this is your own doing. I hope you can hold on a few more days this time. As she spoke, she stood up and gathered her things. Then she said to Song Jingnian's deskmate, Wang Yan, I'm switching seats with you. You go sit with him. Every time she got mad, this was how she punished me. After all, sitting next to her was something I had begged for in the past, but I didn't respond to her at all. This time, Lu Yue was truly angry. She thought that once I came to apologize, she would show me how powerful she was. After school in the afternoon, a Maybach pulled up at the school gate to pick me up. I walked straight toward the car as soon as I stepped out. The whole school now knew I had offended Lu Yue, and everyone was waiting to laugh at me. But when they saw me shamelessly getting into the car, they were all stunned. Everyone couldn't help pointing and whispering about me. Isn't he the one who wouldn't even get lunch for the Campus Belle? How can he still shamelessly ride in someone else's car, the son of a servant? Does he really think he's the master now? Campus Belle Lu isn't even here yet. He still dares to get in the car first. Hearing those mocking voices, I couldn't be bothered to respond. I turned to the driver and directly ordered, drive. The driver glanced at me and said, but Miss Lu hasn't arrived yet. Let's wait a little longer. Seeing he disobeyed my command and even tried to speak up for Lu Yue, I couldn't help but find it laughable. Du Fu, my dad only has one son me. Where did this miss even come from? Du Fu asked with concern, did you argue with Miss Lu? Young master, don't worry. I'll teach her a lesson later. Hurry and drive. I don't want to be in the same car with her. I don't want to see her again either. At that moment, Du Fu looked hesitant. He knew very well how terrified I was of his daughter. Every time Lu Yue said something, I didn't even dare talk back. Even if he didn't follow my order, nothing would happen. At most, Lu Yue would scold me a little. But thinking about how I'll inherit the family fortune in the future, that money will all belong to his daughter, this driver no longer even considers himself a servant. He's already putting on airs in front of me. I frowned and asked, are you driving or not? Actually, my dad had already planned to fire him, because he heard rumors of his secret gambling. My father thought someone like that staying in our house was just too risky, but back then, I was foolish and kept defending him. That's how Lu Yue managed to stay in the Jiang household too. I never imagined, even the dog doesn't listen to its master now. When Lu Yue appeared at the gate, Du Fu quickly got out of the car Lu Yue was supporting Song Jingnian. The two of them walked up to the car together. Du Fu opened the car door for them. Lu Yue was about to help Song Jingnian into the car. Because I like Lu Yue. I wanted her to go home with me. So every time Song Jingnian rode with us, the driver would drop off Song Jingnian first, before taking us home. And not only that, we'd have to wake up early in the morning to pick up Song Jingnian first. Before she could get in the car, I spoke up. Didn't you say you weren't riding home with me this afternoon? Why are you still trying to get in my car? The surrounding students saw what happened and couldn't help shouting. What's wrong with Jiang Shun? Isn't that the campus belle's car? Why is he acting like it's his? Everyone was chiming in. Lu Yue looked awkward and stiff. She didn't understand why I was acting so strangely today. Do you really have to do this? I didn't even get mad about what happened at lunch, Jiangshun. Are you really going to keep this up? I sneered. I don't need your forgiveness. Go home on your own. Don't ride with me. I'm begging you. Lu Yue's face went pale, then flushed. She also knew that in everyone's eyes, she was the daughter of a rich family. If she didn't ride in the same car now, her true identity would be exposed. She reached out and pulled me out of the car, then helped Song Jingnian into the car. I admit I was furious. Lu Yue, don't you think you've gone too far? I don't even know how I tolerated her before. And even thought she was a good person. Lu Yue ignored me, clearly not planning to reason with me either. She told the driver to start the car, and Du Fu actually drove off just like that, leaving me behind. The crowd watching couldn't help but burst into laughter. Good job. That's exactly how he should be treated. I pulled out my phone. The phone was a hand-me-down from Lu Yue. To please her, I gave her my own iPhone. Back then, I thought I was protecting her pride. Looking at this crappy phone now, I find it laughable. I called my dad. Not long after, the Maybach that had just driven off came back. The car stopped again at the gate. Du Fu got out of the car. His expression looked a bit grim when he saw me. It was obvious he'd just been scolded. Tell those two to get out. I don't want to ride in the same car as them. Du Fu looked at the two inside the car. Lu Yue had no choice but to help Song Jingnian out. Song Jingnian didn't expect things to turn out this way. His face turned paler and paler looking at me. Jiangshun, it's fine if you don't like me, but there's no need to take it out on Lu Yue. She's always treated you well, hasn't she? Lu Yue quickly stopped Song Jingnian. Don't say that to him. Once they were both out of the car, I finally got in. Du Fu didn't expect me to go this far. He couldn't help but say, Young master, it's normal for people to argue. You shouldn't stay angry. I'll have Miss Lu apologize to you later. But now, like this, they'll probably have to take the bus. Who knows what time they'll get home at this rate? I mocked. Everyone can take the bus. Why can't she? Du Fu, have you forgotten who pays your salary? If you've got a problem with me, why not just resign? You dare give me orders? When Du Fu heard that, he quickly shut his mouth in fear. Back home, Aunt Zhou saw me. Young master, how come you came back alone? Where's Miss Lu? I told all the household staff. From now on, there's no Miss Lu in this house. Hearing my words, Aunt Zhou was stunned. Young master actually came to his senses. I had always treated Lu Yue so well that even the Lu mother and daughter couldn't tell who was really in charge. Aunt Zhou had wanted to say it many times but never dared, because she knew it would upset me. I'm going upstairs first, Aunt Zhou reported. Miss Su from the Su family is here. I told her to send her back. Actually, Su Kangxia came to our house often, but since she was someone arranged by my father, and I like Lu Yue, I found Su Kangxia extremely annoying. Every time she came, I didn't even see her. I just had someone turn her away. As a result, we had only met a few times in total. I remembered that before I died, she was the one who took me to the hospital, and she even remembered that she was my fiancée. I stopped Aunt Zhou. Where is she? In the backyard playing with Dubai. I went to the backyard and saw Su Kangxia feeding Dubai. That dog was one I had insisted on keeping, but Lu Yue said she didn't like dogs, so I stopped going near it. Unexpectedly, Su Kangxia actually got along really well with Dubai. She was wearing a plain pink school uniform at the time. Yet she looked so cool and noble. My eyes started to tear up. Sukyangsha looked up at me and said, "You're standing at the door, when did you get here?" She was about to walk over, but then remembered how much I hated her. So she stopped in her tracks. "Young Master Jiang," I held back my emotions. "Did you want something from me?" Sukyangsha softly said, "I just came to see you." Seeing that I didn't respond, Sukyangsha added, "I know you don't want to see me. I'll leave now." She didn't even expect to see me today. She just wanted to come see the bai. But she never imagined I'd actually come see her. That alone was already enough for her. Seeing her about to leave, I asked, "Want to stay for dinner?" Hearing that, Sukyangsha was stunned. She looked at me in surprise. "Can I?" "Of course you can." At this time, Lu Yue still hadn't come back. She had to take Song Jingnian home first. If it were before, I definitely would have waited for her to come back before starting dinner. Seeing me ask for dinner this early today, Zhou Shen was a little surprised. "You're not waiting for Miss Lu?" "What for?" "The servants in the house were used to me being Lu Yue's simp. Now that I'm not simping anymore, they seem uncomfortable with it." Zhou Shen didn't ask further. "Alright, I'll go make the arrangements." "Oh right, let Lu Fu know. He doesn't need to come anymore starting tomorrow." Zhou Shen froze for a second, then quickly realized I had just fired Lu Yue's father. I had just sat down in the dining room and saw Sukyangsha secretly glancing at me. When I turned around, she quickly averted her eyes in embarrassment. I didn't expect her to be so shy at this moment. I couldn't help but tease her. "Why won't you look at me? Am I that ugly? I may have poor grades, but I don't look that bad, right?" Sukyangsha shook her head. "No," I chuckled. "Okay then. By the way, I heard you've always done well in school. Have you had any good tutors? Could you recommend one to me? In this life, I don't want to repeat the last one, where I barely even opened a book. Now that I still have a chance, I want to improve my grades." Sukyangsha shook her head. "I don't have any tutors. I've always studied by myself. But if you don't mind, I can come by every day and tutor you." Even though she thought I probably wouldn't agree. After all, I hadn't even looked her in the eye before. But to her surprise, I looked thrilled after hearing it. "Really?" Sukyangsha nodded in shock. "As long as you want me to, I can. Of course, I have no problem with it. I'm just afraid it might interfere with your studies." "Don't you need to study too?" Sukyangsha looked at me gently. "It's okay. It won't affect me." She had already finished high school courses, and she had a guaranteed spot in college, but worried I might mind. She didn't dare mention it. I smiled and said, "My grades are really bad. As long as you don't think I'm dumb, it's fine." Lu Yue also had great grades, but had no patience with me at all. She'd only explain a question once, and if I didn't get it, she'd scold me. My grades were average at first, but after her tutoring, they just got worse. I completely lost my confidence. "No worries, then I'll come find you at your house after school." The two of us were eating, and seeing Sukyangsha so quiet, I picked up my chopsticks and gave her food. "Treat it like home. No need to be polite." Just then, Lu Yue walked in. She had just gotten news that her father was fired. Her father scolded her harshly. Seeing I had started eating without waiting for her, Lu Yue's face instantly turned dark. She had planned to ask me about her father, but was surprised to see Sukyangsha here. She asked unhappily, "Why is she here?" "To please me before." She avoided getting close to other girls. Every time Sukyangsha came over, I'd kick her out. But now I let her stay for dinner. Got a problem with that. Lu Yue looked at me. "Did you call her over just to spite me? Just to make me angry?" I looked at Lu Yue and said, "You're overthinking it. Lu Yue, you're not that important. If you think being with other girls will make me mad, Jiangshan, then you really think too much. Seeing you being close with others, I actually wish for it, so you won't bother me all day long." After saying that, she went straight back to her room. I was speechless. Once Lu Yue left, I could see it. Sukyangsha's expression turned complicated. I explained, "Don't listen to her nonsense." Would Sukyangsha get mad because of that? I felt unsure inside. To my surprise, Sukyangsha didn't say a single word about it. After dinner, I walked Su Kangxia to the door. Be careful on your way home. She didn't say much to me as she left. When I got back home, Lu Yue came down the stairs. At that moment, Lu Yue said to me, "Why did you fire my dad?" She didn't say that in front of others just now, because she didn't want people to know that she was just the daughter of the Jiang family's driver. Causing a scene in front of Su Kangxia would have made her lose face. Do I need to explain firing a driver to you? Lu Yue gritted her teeth. That's my dad. I was the one who told him to do it today. It had nothing to do with him. If you've got a problem, come at me. Go ahead and fire me too. The moment she mentioned firing, I suddenly felt energized. Sure. Lu Yue stared at me in shock. What did you just say? Move out of my house. I'll find another tutor. Ever since you started tutoring me, my grades have gotten worse and worse. I don't think you deserve the high salary I'm paying you. Lu Yue thought I was just joking, but she didn't expect I was actually firing her. Your grades are bad because you're just too dumb. The same questions I explained once to Song Jingnian, and he gets it immediately. You're dumb as a pig. That's not my fault. Even if you change tutors, it'll be the same. No one can teach you. This is entirely your own problem. Seeing that she was still blaming me, I said, move out of the house. Lu Yue tightened her eyebrows. Jiangshun, you're still just a student. Your mind should be focused on studying. All you think about all day is dating me. No wonder your grades are bad. Lu Yue let out a cold snort. These little tricks of yours, aren't they just because you're jealous of my good relationship with Song Jingnian? Because I refused to date you, you got upset. But right now, I just want to focus on studying and strive to get into an excellent university. I'm not like you. Even if you don't study, your family still has more than enough money. So there's no way I can be with you now. I stared at the woman in front of me, a little shocked inside. Who said I wanted to be with you? Lu Yue. Where on earth does your confidence come from? Do you really think I would want to be with you without my attention? You're nothing at all. You think I'm just saying that? Think whatever you like, but let me remind you, if you keep having Su Kangxia over for meals, don't blame me for ignoring you. After saying that, she went back to her room. Lu Yue sure has a thick face. Does she think this is her own house? I went back to my room, then gave Zhou Shen a call. I told her to move Lu Yue's things out tomorrow. Then I asked for Su Kangxia's phone number. I sent her a message. Did you get home? She didn't reply. The next morning, I woke up, and since I no longer had to drive anyone, I could sleep naturally. I thought Lu Yue had already left, but unexpectedly, she was sitting at the dining table waiting. I found a seat and sat down, getting ready to eat breakfast, seeing her still waiting for me here. I mocked, aren't you picking up your boyfriend? You could have left earlier. Lu Yue retorted, we're just friends. Don't say nonsense. Even though they were secretly seeing each other, they never admitted it. After all, it was puppy love. It sets a bad example for top students like them. If Song Jingnian hadn't accidentally let it slip, I wouldn't have believed it. After breakfast, I walked out. Lu Yue followed closely behind me. The driver had already been replaced by someone else. He opened the car door for me proactively. I got into the car, and Lu Yue followed and sat down as well. I looked at her and asked, Miss Lu, what's the meaning of this? Didn't you say you wouldn't go the same way as me? I clearly remember what you said yesterday. Lu Yue didn't say a word. If it weren't for her dad insisting she apologize, she wouldn't bother. Just because her family has some money, she likes to bully others. What's so great about that? But her father still needs this job. I couldn't be bothered to waste time with her. I told the driver to go. When we arrived at the school gate, I got out of the car. Lu Yue followed behind me. Previously, when they came, they always brought Song Jingnian along. Today, Song Jingnian came on the bus by himself. When he saw Lu Yue, he hurried over. Song Jingnian's gaze landed on me. He couldn't understand what happened yesterday. Why the son of a nobody would dare get so angry at Lu Yue, seeing her come to school with me. Song Jingnian asked, Did you to make up? I gave no response. Just walk straight ahead. Lu Yue didn't understand at all. She said to Song Jingnian, I have nothing to argue with him about. Song Jingnian replied seriously, no matter what, you can't let the son of a nobody treat you like that. You're way too tolerant. Now everyone's saying that Jiang Sheng is actually the real young master. Lu Yue sneered, no need to care what they think. My dad has a pretty good relationship with Jiang Sheng. He told me to look out for him more. How can I not take care of him? I arrived at the classroom. Li Yan was already there. He stood in the way and wouldn't let me in. You really have no shame. Yesterday, you just left Lu Yue and Song Jingnian behind and drove off with the driver by yourself. I chuckled. It's my own car. I have the right not to give others a ride. Why should you care? And who are you? Seeing how confident I was, everyone became curious. Are you saying that Maybach belongs to your family? What else? I gave the speaker a calm glance. Li Yan couldn't help but laugh. You, seriously, Jiang Sheng, we all know exactly who you are. And you still want to act like a rich young master here. Do you really think you're qualified? I heard that driver is your dad. Your whole family works for the Lu family. Lu Yue's just being kind not to argue with you. Otherwise, she would have kicked you out long ago. But you really shouldn't be so shameless. Lu Yue and Song Jingnian showed up at the classroom door. Lu Yue looked a little awkward, because what Li Yan just said wasn't directed at me. He was actually scolding her. Song Jingnian told Li Yan, go back to your seat. Li Yan had no choice. He had to move his stuff away. Lu Yue sat down beside me again, facing her actions. I didn't react much. After all, I didn't really care what she did. Li Yan sat next to Song Jingnian, feeling a bit disgruntled. What does Lu Yue mean by this? Jiang Sheng is walking all over her, and she's still protecting him. Now Jiang Sheng is even sitting with her. Song Jingnian responded helplessly. Yue's dad told her to take good care of Jiang Sheng. There's no other meaning behind it. Don't overthink it. So that's the reason. No wonder Jiang Sheng acts like that toward her, and claimed that car belonged to his family. Lu Yue's phone clearly looks expensive. Even Song Jingnian's gifts aren't cheap. But look at Jiang Sheng's phone, same as mine. And he still wants to act like a rich young master. Who would believe that? I sat at my desk and glanced at my phone. Su Qiangsha finally replied to my message. Just a single word. It looked incredibly cold and indifferent. At that moment, Lu Yue was sitting beside me. She saw me checking my messages, and the contact name still said Su Qiangsha. She frowned slightly. Nothing had changed. But since yesterday, she felt like I had become a different person. I sent another message to Su Qiangsha. Are you coming for tutoring this afternoon? She replied with just one character, As long as she's coming, it's fine. I didn't bother with it further. I focused intently during class. At noon, Song Jingnian came over. He and Lu Yue went downstairs for lunch together. Lu Yue glanced at me without meaning to. She asked me, aren't you coming to eat? I was being so focused today that it surprised Lu Yue. At that moment, I was still organizing my pens. I ignored her completely. Song Jingnian looked at Lu Yue and said, Jiang Sheng's not coming. Let's go by ourselves. We'll bring him something later. I declined Song Jingnian's kindness. No need. Song Jingnian is a good guy, at least in everyone's eyes. He always has been. So even when others mock him behind his back, Song Jingnian remains optimistic and positive about himself. But I don't want to owe anyone anything. I packed up my things properly. Then I stood up. I didn't go downstairs with them. Song Jingnian followed beside Lu Yue. What's wrong with him? He's ignoring you. What did you do to upset him? Lu Yue was also puzzled. No matter how cold he was to me before, I would always cling to him like a little puppy. But starting from yesterday, even though I didn't do anything, he still treats me like this. It's really confusing. Song Jingnian suddenly said, oh right, your birthday party this weekend, are you inviting him? This week happens to be Lu Yue's birthday. Last year, Lu Yue celebrated her birthday At the Royal Court Hotel. I booked the hotel, then arranged everything in advance. I had Lu Yue invite the classmates. The night cost several 100,000 yuan. Everyone who went couldn't stop praising it. They felt attending Lu Yue's birthday party was an honor. This time was no different. A few days earlier, I had already arranged everything properly. If I hadn't said I was firing Lu Yue, she probably wouldn't think much of it. But after what I said yesterday, and acting cold again today, she couldn't help but overthink it. If I didn't go, would she still throw the party? Watching my distant figure, Lu Yue couldn't help but comfort herself. Forget it. What am I even worrying about? Jiangsheng will definitely come. Maybe Jiangsheng was being cold on purpose, just to surprise me. Thinking of that, Lu Yue felt a bit more relaxed. Jiangsheng will definitely show up. And Song Jingnian too. He's been at all your previous birthdays. In the afternoon, Lu Yue and Song Jingnian had school anniversary program rehearsals. I didn't wait for them. I just went home. Su Qiangsha had already arrived. As soon as I came in, she and Dabai came to greet me. Seeing her in front of me, I smiled. Maybe it's due to a bond from a past life, but meeting her always feels so rare and precious. When she saw the smile on my face, Su Qiangsha was momentarily stunned. She was already used to my usual willful and cold demeanor, but lately I've been so warm and cheerful. It made her feel a little shy. I teased her, "You're here so early. Let's just go to the study room then." The two of us sat down in the study. Su Qiangsha sat right next to me. She brought the test papers. She wanted to understand my current level first. I seriously finished the test, then handed it to her. Su Qiangsha silently took the test papers. She quietly looked through them for a moment. I felt a bit ashamed and apologized. "I'm really bad at this." Su Qiangsha shook her head. "It's not your fault. It's just that your study method is not quite right. Let me help you catch up on the basics first, okay?" I nodded in agreement. While teaching, Su Qiangsha always kept her head down, avoiding eye contact. But her explanations were clear and easy to understand. I surprisingly understood them with ease. After teaching for a while, I started to feel a little thirsty. As soon as I looked up, I noticed I was staring at her. Su Qiangsha shyly turned her head away. "What's wrong? Is there something you don't understand? I just think you're really patient with me. But on the phone, you seem so cold. Is it because of what happened with Lu Yue that you have something against me?" Su Qiangsha denied it. "No. My family came over yesterday, so I was a bit busy. I couldn't reply to your message in time. By the time I saw it, it was already morning. If you need any help, you can call me anytime." Just as we were both busy, my phone suddenly rang. I answered the call. It was Lu Yue on the other end. "Jiangsheng, what do you mean by this? What did I do?" I had no idea what I did to upset her. Lu Yue said, "You actually told her to throw away all my stuff. I told you yesterday. You're fired. If that's the case, there's no reason for you to stay in my house anymore." "Right. I'm in class now. Stop bothering me." After saying that, I directly hung up the phone. Lu Yue stood at the door, unable to believe I could actually do something like this. Jiangsheng really wanted to kick her out. "Why?" I said to Su Qiangsha. "Let's continue." A moment later, the study room door was suddenly pushed open. Lu Yue was standing at the door. Her expression was extremely grim. Her eyes fell on me and Su Qiangsha. I stood up and asked, "What are you doing here? Didn't you say you didn't like me? Didn't you look down on me? And now suddenly, you're being clingy?" Lu Yue stepped forward and questioned Jiangsheng. "Do you find it fun to humiliate me like this? Are you mistaken? How exactly am I humiliating you? Weren't you the one who actually humiliated me, Lu Yue? I covered all of your living expenses. Yet you were always hanging around with Song Jingnian. I was like a servant following behind you two. I served you both, and still had to endure your indifference. Isn't that humiliation? Now I'm just taking back what I gave you. But in your eyes, that's humiliating you?" Lu Yue looked at me. "Don't think just because you found someone else, you can force me into anything. I will never like you. And I'll never be in a relationship with you. I'll tell you this clearly and without hesitation. I like Song Jingnian. We're already together. As for you, I will never have any feelings for you. After saying that, she walked away. I turned around and said to Sukyangsha, sorry. Let's continue. Sukyangsha looked at me and said, how about I go home first? You don't look like you're in a good mood. I replied blankly, no, I'm fine. My mood is quite good. I just thought of my past life. Of the silly things I once did. I'm not sad because of Lu Yue. But Sukyangsha still said, I'll head back first. After saying that, she headed to the door, but I grabbed her hand. Sukyangsha stared directly at my hand. I didn't even know what I was doing. But I'm not stupid. I could tell she wasn't happy. Every time Lu Yue showed up and said those things, Sukyangsha would instinctively want to distance herself from me. I let go of her hand. Are you free on Saturday? I want to eat at the Royal Court Hotel. Do you want to come with me? The food at the Royal Court Hotel is incredibly delicious. In my past life, I starved to death. Now I just want to enjoy myself. Sukyangsha asked, aren't you going with Lu Yue? I replied, so you really want me to be with her? You want me to avoid you like before? Sukyangsha shook her head immediately. Of course not. Then it's settled. See you Saturday. I arrived a little late on Saturday afternoon. As I entered, I saw quite a few old acquaintances at the entrance. They were all dressed very glamorously. When they saw me, Li Yang couldn't help but sneer, Jiangcheng? You actually had the nerve to show up. I frowned in confusion. Why wouldn't I come? The owner of the Royal Court Hotel is a good friend of my father's. I'm a premium VIP here. I can come whenever I want. Li Yan scoffed. At school these past 2 days, Lu the campus belle hasn't even looked at you. And now it's her birthday. You still have the shamelessness to come. It's Lu Yue's birthday. Oh right, today is her birthday. I had already spoken to the hotel in advance. This year is Lu Yue's 18th birthday. On her 18th birthday in my past life, I threw her a grand party at this very hotel. It was incredibly glamorous, but it was also on that day that I found out about Song Jingnian dating Lu Yue. Looking at the lively scene in front of me, I didn't want to bother with them. Everything Lu Yue had at the hotel was arranged by me. Naturally, I also covered the expenses. Now that I've snapped back to reality, I've stopped caring about her, and yet she dares to bring them here to spend money. I'm curious to see how she plans to end this. I ignored my classmates' mockery and walked straight into the elevator. The table for me and Sukyangsha was already booked. I just wasn't sure if she had arrived. As soon as I stepped out of the elevator, I happened to see Lu Yue with Song Jingnian. Lu Yue's gaze instantly locked on me. She clearly knew I would show up. Lu Yue walked toward me with a smug, teasing tone in her voice. Didn't you say you weren't coming back? Don't think that just because you came, I'll forgive what you did before. Jiangcheng, I'm still angry. She's always like this. Always using her anger to pressure me into giving in. I smirked. Do you need something? Lu Yue smiled. Aren't you here for my birthday? I sneered. Why would I celebrate your birthday? You didn't even invite me, did you? So many classmates are here to celebrate with you. Surely you don't need me to. Lu Yue looked at me irritably. Jiangcheng, what are you trying to say? You're still being so passive-aggressive. Just then, the restaurant manager walked over to me. Young Master Jiang, I asked, as Sukyangsha arrived. The manager nodded. She's already here. Please lead the way. The manager led me to find Sukyangsha. But Lu Yue followed behind me. Jiangcheng, are you done making a scene? I glanced at Lu Yue. I'm not making a scene. You are. Lu Yue lowered her voice. If it's because of my relationship with Song Jingnian, I can stay away from him. So please, can you stop making a scene? I nodded. I know today's your birthday celebration. I don't want to ruin everyone's mood, right? Then I looked at the manager. I previously reserved a Jade Pavilion at your restaurant. The reservation was made under Lu Yue's name. The manager nodded. Since it's Lu's birthday today, let her use that pavilion. I turned to Lu Yue and said, "Is that okay?" Lu Yue saw I'd given in, and finally let out a sigh of relief. "Jiang Cheng, you did all this just to break me and Song Jingnian up, didn't you? You just can't stand seeing us together." I shook my head. "You're overthinking it. I really don't care who you're with." Lu Yue, in time, you'll understand. I can't be bothered anymore. I turned and walked away. The manager glanced at me. "I'll have them prepare the Jade Pavilion right away." I nodded. "But make sure she pays for everything herself. No one is allowed to leave until the bill is settled." "Understood, young Master Jiang." Once everything was arranged, I finally went to find Su Qiangshi. Meanwhile, Lu Yue returned to Song Jingnian's side. Song Jingnian asked, "So, what did you to talk about?" Lu Yue waved it off. "Nothing special, just the usual boring stuff. He wants to break us up. What a nice fantasy he has. After tonight's birthday party. He definitely won't give me a pleasant face." Today, Su Qiangshi wasn't wearing her school uniform. She wore a pleated skirt instead. The design was very simple, but on her it gave off a particularly refined vibe. I smiled. "Have you been waiting long?" I naturally sat down beside her. Su Qiangshi didn't expect me to sit next to her, and looked a little uneasy. I didn't notice her discomfort. "Have you ordered yet?" Su Qiangshi shook her head. "Not yet. I'm still looking." I leaned closer. Su Qiangshi couldn't even focus on the menu anymore. She was completely focused on me. I suddenly said, "I feel like eating something heavy." Su Qiangshi asked me, "Do you like spicy food?" "Sort of." I looked up at her. "What about you?" "I like it too." Not long after that, the owner of the Royal Pavilion came in. His name is Grandpa Joe. When I saw him, I politely greeted Uncle Joe. He looked at me. "So, Jiang Cheng is here too." As soon as he said that, I immediately understood he wasn't here for me. Sure enough, Grandpa Joe walked over to Su Qiangshi. He politely addressed Miss Su. "Welcome to our hotel for dining. If there's anything we failed to do well, please feel free to tell me. He's close with my father." That's how he knows Su Qiangshi's identity. Most people don't know who Su Qiangshi really is. Su Qiangshi simply responded, then continued eating. She was very cold. I thought she was a warm person. But meeting her in person, I realized Su Qiangshi doesn't like to talk to others. Even when Grandpa Joe poured her water, she stayed silent. She gave off a very distant vibe. In the end, Grandpa Joe had no choice but to say, "Then I'll excuse myself. Please enjoy. Take your time." At that moment, I called out to him, "Wait a minute." When Uncle Joe heard my voice, he stopped walking. Then he turned back. "Young Master Jiang, have instructions." If I remember correctly, in the previous life, Royal Hotel suddenly had a fire on the third day. After extinguishing the fire, it turned out the extinguishers didn't work. That fire even caused casualties. Because of that, the Royal Hotel never recovered. I heard Grandpa Joe fell ill from the incident. I looked at him and asked, "Your hotel's fire safety is fine, right?" I asked suddenly, and Grandpa Joe looked at me in surprise. "Young Master Jiang, why are you suddenly concerned about this?" I just thought it'd be better to have someone inspect it thoroughly, especially the kitchen area. Grandpa Joe smiled. "Don't worry, our hotel's fire safety is top-notch. There definitely won't be any problems. We take full responsibility for our guest." I quietly looked at him. "Uncle Joe, how about you go check it yourself?" Seeing how insistent I was, a trace of displeasure showed on Joe's face. "Young Master Jiang, what do you mean by that? Are you saying you don't trust my words? I'm a close friend of your father's. He knows exactly what kind of person I am. I've always done honest business. Are you questioning my character?" Su Qiangshi spoke up. Since he brought it up, might as well go take a look. Joe, giving her face, nodded. "All right, I'll go now." After Joe left, I couldn't help but look at Su Qiangshi in surprise. "Why did you help me?" I only made a request. Because I actually knew a lot. But from Su Qiangshi's perspective, she shouldn't know anything about this. Su Qiangshi said seriously, "Since you asked, isn't it natural to help?" I smiled. "Aren't you afraid I'm making it up?" "So what? Even if it's just a joke, It wouldn't cause any real problem. It's just making him check. Sukyangsha and I ate for quite a while. We didn't leave after the meal either. We ordered dessert. I even brought my homework with me. So I did my homework as well. The two of us stayed until the evening. Lu Yue's birthday party ended. When they were about to leave, everyone was held back because Lu Yue hadn't paid the bill. Lu Yue gave me a call. I didn't answer the first time, but I already knew who it was. I ignored it until she called 2 more times. Then I finally answered. Jiangsheng, what do you mean by this? On the other end of the line, Lu Yue's voice was full of rage. The angrier she was, the more upset she was, the more pleased I became. I smirked. Lu Yue, what's wrong with you? Why are you so angry? Lu Yue lowered her voice. Come pay the bill now. Don't make trouble. Once this birthday party is over, she leave and won't deal with me again. But I didn't expect you to be waiting here for her. Now she can't pay the bill. And everyone's stuck here. Everyone's waiting on her. I said curiously, it's your birthday, and I didn't even attend. Why should I pay the bill? Why don't you split the bill with your classmates? Everyone pitches in and settles it. They all seem pretty fond of you anyway. Lu Yue snapped. Jiangsheng, must you be like this? What do you want me to do so you'll come and pay? I said, if you're begging someone, at least act like it. I smiled. If you won't, then forget it. I'm hanging up. Please. Please. Lu Yue and the others were blocked by hotel staff. They couldn't leave at all. I hung up and stood up. Then I told Sukyangsha, I'll step out for a bit. I walked all the way to the Jade Hall. At that moment, all the classmates attending the party were inside. Everyone was staring at Lu Yue. They couldn't leave. Lu Yue had no choice but to stay there helplessly, enduring everyone's gaze. Just then I appeared. The manager walked over. He politely greeted me. Young Master Jiang. I looked at everyone around, all dressed up like beautiful flowers. This afternoon, they all looked down on me. Now, they weren't acting so arrogant anymore. I chuckled. What's going on here? Isn't this the school bell's birthday party? Why does everyone look so unhappy? I deliberately observed Lu Yue. Her expression was darker than anyone else's. Song Jingnian seemed unsure of what was happening. The manager explained this Miss Lu didn't pay the bill. I just asked them to settle the payment, that's all. It's not that big of a deal. No need to make it into this mess. They're all my classmates. I'll pay for tonight's bill. After saying that, I handed over my card. The manager took the card to make the payment. The others looked at me with complicated expressions. Lu Yue felt her face getting hot. This could have been handled discreetly, but now it's become so high profile. And he had to swipe the card in front of everyone. This man is really crazy. Before long, the manager had finished the transaction. Then he handed me the card and the receipt. Young Master Jiang, it's done. Here's the bill. I glanced at the bill and deliberately read the number aloud. 860,000. Happy birthday, Lu Yue. I'll cover your birthday expenses this year. But there won't be a next time. After all, I can support you. But I'm not going to support your boyfriend too. After saying that, I glanced at Song Jingnian. Song Jingnian was standing right beside me. His face had already turned pale. What's going on? Wasn't all of Lu Yue's money from me? Isn't she supposed to be a rich heiress? Li Yan stepped forward. Jiangsheng, are you kidding me? Just because Lu Yue's money was with you doesn't mean it's yours. You're just the servant's kid in their house. You were just watching it for her. What are you so smug about? I looked at Li Yan with a slight smile. So your family gives money to servants to take care of, since you say I'm Lu Yue's house servant's son. Then let me tell you now, he's not my father. He's my family's driver. That day at the school gate, he dropped me off. And he's already been fired. If you don't believe me, you can ask Lu Yue yourself. After speaking, I looked toward Lu Yue. What do you say? School bell Lu. She glared at me, her eyes filled with unwillingness. Even if she's poor, she's never been humiliated like this. Now everyone is looking at her. But this time, she can't say a word. After all, I might refund the money. She ignored me. turned around and left. Song Jingnian witnessed it all, then followed her out. After both of them had left, I glanced at everyone present. If there's nothing else, you can all go now. Be careful on your way home. It's getting late. Everyone started to leave one after another. The manager of the Jade Hall walked me to the door. He escorted me to the elevator. Just then, Sukyangsha happened to come over. The two of us got into the elevator together. We arrived at the ground floor and saw Grandpa Joe waiting there. As soon as he saw me, he walked over. Jiang Chun. I nodded politely. Uncle Joe grasped my hand tightly. Jiang Chun. Thank you so much. I just went to inspect things myself and discovered many issues. It was all because my cousin didn't do his job well. I've already sent him home. I let out a breath. That's how it should be. Uncle Joe asked curiously. How did you know we had fire safety issues? That question caught me off guard. I had no choice but to make up an excuse. I dreamed about it last night. Uncle Joe burst out laughing after hearing what I said. All right, I won't ask anymore. Oh right, I had someone prepare some gifts for both of you. Grandpa Joe saw us to the door. The Su family's car had already arrived. I got into the car. I was already feeling sleepy. Soon, I fell asleep leaning on Sukyangsha. Sukyangsha didn't dare move at all. When we arrived at the Su residence, Sukyangsha hesitated, unsure whether to wake me up. At that moment, the driver had already gotten out of the car. He was waiting outside. Sukyangsha never woke me up. I felt the car had stopped. I woke up, glanced out the window, realized I was home. We're here already? Sukyangsha nodded slightly. Then why didn't you wake me? You look so peaceful sleeping. When she spoke, her face was as expressionless as ever. I looked at her and noticed her ears were slightly red. I remembered how pure she's always been, but I didn't expect him to be this pure. I asked if she was afraid of me. Sukyangsha shook her head. No. Then why don't you look at me? When we're together, you act like you dislike me. Sukyangsha cleared her throat. I'm just not used to being this close to people. I couldn't help but laugh. Then why don't you ask me to move away? When she heard that, Sukyangsha asked, why did you and Lu Yue break up? Didn't you really like her? As soon as she brought it up, I froze for a second. I just realized I don't like her anymore. It's nothing. I got out of the car. Just then, the gates of the Jiang residence slowly opened. Dad, Jiang Qingming, came to the entrance. Dad, you're finally home. Seeing me come home so late. Even though he didn't know what I had gone through, Jiang Qingming still turned to Sukyangsha and said, come in and sit for a bit. Sukyangsha politely replied, Uncle Jiang, I won't come in. I'll head home first. The Su family's car drove off. Then I followed my father into the house. The next morning, as soon as I got up, I heard Zhou Shen say that Lu Yue was here. Last night's scene replayed in my head. She and I had basically fallen out completely. I went downstairs and saw it wasn't just Lu Yue who came. Her father was with her too. Lu Fu sat on the sofa. He said to Jiang Qingming, President Jiang, they say our Lu Yue is immature. I've already scolded her. She never bullied Jiang Sheng again. Jiang Qingming frowned. You even dare to call my son by name. He had long been displeased with the Lu family women. If he wasn't afraid his son would sever ties with him, he would have never tolerated them this far. Realizing he had said something wrong, Lu Fu quickly apologized. Young master. He saw me coming downstairs and quickly looked away. Good morning, young master, he greeted. Good morning, I brought Lu Yue today to apologize to you. I turned to see Lu Yue sitting there. Silent. Apologize. I didn't think Lu Yue came to apologize. Her face clearly showed reluctance. She clearly still held a grudge from last night. How could she sincerely apologize? I said sarcastically. What are you talking about, Mr. Lu? Lu Yue didn't offend me at all. There's no need for an apology. But I heard you fired her, Lu Fu said. When Lu Fu was fired himself, he wasn't even that upset. After all, his monthly salary wasn't much. But Lu Yue was different. She was tutoring me for a bit and already earning a lot of money. She might have taken over the whole Jiang family someday. I sneered. She was tutoring me. My grades only got worse these years. There was no real conflict between us. She didn't even do anything offensive. There's no need to apologize. Jiang Qingning glanced sideways at me. I had insisted on being with Lu Yue before. Insisted she tutor me. She had no choice but to agree. Now I was the one who let her go. Jiang Qingmin was surprised and a little moved. His son had finally grown up. I said no more and sat down at the table to start breakfast. Jiang Qingmin had someone escort the two women out. After breakfast, I left the house. The driver was already waiting in the yard. I got in the car. Through the window, I saw Lu Yue still standing at the gate. Her father was there too, unlike his gentle appearance inside the house. Lu Fu raised his hand and slapped Lu Yue across the face. I knew Lu Yue's background. Her mother had left. She had lived with her father all these years. Even her school tuition came from borrowed money. Later, as she grew up, she found ways to earn it herself. Even in those circumstances, she still managed to excel in her studies. She was always the top student in school. That's why I always felt compassion for her when I got to school. Because of what happened yesterday, people started treating me much better. Classmates even started approaching me to chat. Jiangshun, is your family really that rich? So that means all of Lu Yue's money came from you. We always thought she was some rich heiress. I laughed. Didn't you guys already figure it out? We just find it strange. You treat Lu Yue so well. Why isn't she with you? Is she still with Song Jingnian? Young master, how about looking at me instead? I promise I'll be even more obedient than Lu Yue. Hearing her words, I couldn't help but burst out laughing. At that moment, Lu Yue appeared. When she heard what the girl said, Lu Yue sneered. You wish. As if he'd be into someone like you. He already has a new target now. You'll have to get in line and wait your turn. New target. When they heard Lu Yue, everyone looked at me. I have a new target. Who could be better than Lu Yue? Is there anyone in school better than Lu Yue? Probably not. Even though she's no longer a wealthy heiress now, Lu Yue still has outstanding academic performance. And she's also good-looking, so everyone agrees she has great potential. Lu Yue didn't respond to everyone's remarks. I've been your lapdog for so long, just because I didn't want to date you. You treat me like this? Jiangshun, even if you do this, Lu Yue still won't like you. With your poor grades, relying only on your family's wealth, you think everyone should cater to you. You're not even worth one of Yi Nian's fingers. When Lu Yue brought that up, everyone suddenly remembered my poor academic ranking. I wasn't just Lu Yue's lapdog. I was also a good for-nothing. Before I could speak, Lu Yue brought up last night's birthday party. You were the one who told me to invite everyone. I didn't even want to go. But in the end, you deliberately embarrassed them. Do you think just because you're rich, you can toy with other people's dignity? And don't twist the truth either. Saying you were the one supporting me, that money was just for tutoring you. From now on, I won't take your money anymore. And don't expect me to help you again. After finishing her speech, Lu Yue immediately switched seats, as if she wanted no association with me at all. I didn't let her off easy either. Lu Yue, you've got a lot of nerve talking about tutoring since you started tutoring me. Besides spending my money, have you done anything useful? Every month, I ranked at the bottom of the class. That's thanks to your tutoring. Lu Yue replied with a blank expression. I already told you you're just dumb. What does that have to do with me? Jiangshun, since you've got so much money, why not spend it on a new brain? As soon as Lu Yue said that, everyone around couldn't help but laugh. Are you sure I'm the dumb one? And it's not your tutoring that's the problem. Lu Yue thought of Su Qiangsha. She knew I'd already asked Su Qiangsha to tutor me. She let out a cold snort. Since that's the case, how about this? In the next monthly exam, let me take a look at your scores. You don't need to improve too much. As long as your ranking improves by 100 places, I'll admit that the problem was mine. She really wanted to see If Su Qiangsha could actually teach Jiangsheng well, that brain of him isn't exactly working okay. I looked at her. She only asked for a 100-place improvement. She didn't even ask for that much. It shows just how little she thinks of me. Lu Yue asked, "Do you accept the challenge?" You all heard it, he agreed himself. As long as he improves by 100 places in the next exam. I, Lu Yue, will punish myself by running 10 kilometers. Li Yin looked at me. Since the school beauty is running 10 kilometers, why don't you also run 10 kilometers if you lose? But Jiangsheng, can you even finish the run? If you chicken out, then just admit defeat. I looked at them and said, sure, 100 points isn't that hard, especially since I've been attending classes with Su Qiangsha these past few days. I felt like the way she teaches makes everything so much easier to understand. I could clearly feel myself improving, so I agreed immediately. It was also a way to push myself. After all, having goals gives you motivation. Lu Yue saw me agree so readily and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Disaster struck just then. Song Jingnian walked in. He heard everything Lu Yue had just said. He had been feeling down the whole night. But at that moment, he had made up his mind. Lu Yue was not only top of the class, she was also beautiful. Thinking of that, he walked over and said, Yue, even though your dad is just a driver, he still earns a living with his own hands. And you've always had the best grades. Coming from a poor background, getting to where you are now must not have been easy. I will always support you. After what Song Jingnian said, all the doubts about Lu Yue disappeared. I watched the two of them speak in such harmony, and couldn't help but feel deeply moved by their love. It was so touching. These two really are meant to be together forever. It was all my fault for being blind before, and trying to interfere, because of what Lu Yue said. Now everyone thinks I'm a joke. After school, my dad personally came to pick me up. He bought me a brand new phone, and then took me out to dinner. While we were eating, Su Qiangsha also arrived. She came with her uncle. This was officially a meeting between both families. Jiang Qingmin had wanted to arrange this for a long time, but I had always strongly opposed it before, with eyes only for Lu Yue. So the dinner never happened until now. Today, I was willing to come and have dinner together. Jiang Qingmin felt deeply gratified. His son had grown up, and was finally willing to listen to him. During the meal, he had a cheerful chat with Su Qiangsha's uncle. I sat next to Su Qiangsha and talked about the bet I made with them over test scores. After I finished speaking, Su Qiangsha didn't say much. She only replied with a hum, and I couldn't read her expression. Do you think I was being reckless? That the pressure is too much? Su Qiangsha shook her head no. Then do you think I have a chance? Lately, the problems you've explained to me, I could actually understand them all. Su Qiangsha looked at me. Don't worry. Leave it to me. And you're actually quite smart. You're not as dumb as others say. By others, she clearly meant Lu Yue. What Lu Yue said about me being dumb, even though Su Qiangsha didn't speak up at the time. She clearly remembered it. As we were talking, I suddenly realized the room had gone quiet. When I looked up, I saw my dad and Su Qiangsha's uncle both looking at me. It made me a bit embarrassed. Dad, why are you looking at me like that? It's nothing, carry on. Jiang Qingmin smiled. Their relationship really is good. After dinner, Su Qinglin and Uncle Lu had more to discuss. So Su Qiangsha and I left first. We didn't go home. We found a coffee shop. The two of us kept going over questions. My head was full of class material at the time. Soon, the waiter brought our orders. I looked up and saw the person in the waiter's uniform in front of me was none other than Lu Yue. I stared at her in surprise. What are you doing here? Lu Yue shot me a cold look. That's what I should be asking you? You knew I was working here. Did you come here just to discuss me on purpose? Even though I acted cold toward her now, Lu Yue could still tell that deep down, I still liked her. I was just trying to force myself to get over her. Otherwise, why would I show up at her part-time job? How could it be such a coincidence? I sneered. You're overthinking it. It's purely a coincidence. Lu Yue glanced at Su Qiangsha, but didn't stay long. She turned and walked away, not wanting to waste a second on us. Seeing that arrogant and smug attitude of hers, I really didn't understand what she was so proud of. I turned and handed the ice cream to Sukyangsha, then reached out to pick up her backpack. We walked out of the cafe together. Honestly, I had planned to stay a bit longer, but running into Lu Yue here completely ruined my mood. In the following 2 weeks, I studied like crazy every day. Sukyangsha often came to tutor me. My grades improved significantly. But whenever Lu Yue saw how serious I was, she couldn't help but mock me. Jiangchun, if you regret it, it's not too late to give up now. Otherwise, when the results come out, don't go back on your word. I frowned. You're being noisy. The monthly exam finally ended. I felt extremely cheerful. Even though the results weren't out yet, I felt like I had performed pretty well. Sukyangsha was sitting in the yard. I called out to her. You came over so early today. Sukyangsha looked at me. I always come early. I was just curious, don't you have any other school activities? Lu Yue is also a top student at your school. She and Song Jingnian used to have so many things to do every day. But, compared to them, Sukyangsha seemed to put me as her top priority. Every time I came back, she was already here. Sukyangsha smiled and said, I'm relatively free. They don't control me, so there aren't really any school activities I have to join. Sukyangsha shook her head. I usually don't participate. I was eager to know how well I had done on the test. So I sat in the yard with Sukyangsha and went over the answers. I found that I got many of them right. I felt really good. When the results came out, the homeroom teacher walked into the classroom. As usual, she praised Lu Yue and Song Jingnian, those two had once again placed first and second. Then the teacher continued, but this time, I want to name someone else. That person is Jiangcheng. Hearing that, I suddenly perked up. Lu Yue's eyes were full of sarcasm. The teacher continued, Jiangcheng did really well this time. He used to be at the bottom of the class, but now he's made a big leap. This time, he made it into the top 200. If he keeps working hard, he'll surely get great results in the college entrance exam. Top 200. Hearing that, everyone widened their eyes in shock. Even Lu Yue was stunned. She had expected I might improve by 100 spots, but I actually made it into the top 200. Even I didn't expect such a big improvement. It proves that as long as you work hard, there will be results. Teacher, are you sure you didn't make a mistake? Jiangcheng used to have such bad grades. How could that be possible? The teacher looked at me. Of course I didn't make a mistake. I used to be troubled, because there was always someone dragging the class average down. But who would have thought he would improve so much? She looked at me. I was once her biggest worry, but now I had become her surprise. After receiving the teacher's recognition, I was really happy. I looked at Lu Yue. So what now? Weren't you the one who said I was dumb? Don't forget the 10 kilometers. Lu Yue pursed her lips, still unable to understand. After school, Lu Yue reluctantly ran the 10 kilometers. I didn't go home either. I stayed on purpose just to enjoy the show. Song Jingnian was watching me from the side. Li Yan whispered to Song Jingnian, it's just the top 200. What's so impressive about that? He's acting like he ranked first. Even Lu, the school belle, didn't act this smug when she got first. And our Song Jingnian ranked second, right? Song Jingnian looked at Lu Yue and calmly said, she accepted the bet, so she accepts the loss. Yue is not the kind of person who can't handle losing. Li Yan added flatteringly, so what if Jiangcheng did well? It's not a big deal. By the time Lu Yue finished running the 10 kilometers, it was nearly dark. She looked at me. Are you satisfied now? I nodded and stood up. Good job. Looking forward to betting with you again next time. After I left, Song Jingnian said, Jiangcheng's grades used to be terrible. How did he suddenly improve so much? Did he cheat? Li Yan chimed in from the side. I suspect he cheated just to make the school belle lose. Otherwise, why were his grades so bad before, even with her tutoring? She tutored him every day, yet he was still terrible. How did he suddenly improve like this? I'm going to talk to the teacher tomorrow. I took the bus home, eager to share the news with Sukyangsha. But Aunt Jo said that Miss Su didn't come today. I felt a little disappointed. Recently, Dad has been away from home. So I've been here by myself. I dialed Sukyangsha's number. Hello? Are you busy? Hope I'm not bothering you. I heard you didn't come today. So I thought I'd give you a call. Sukyangsha explained something came up today. I smiled and said, my scores improved a lot this time. I actually made it into the top 100. Did you know? Lu Yue had to run 10 kilometers today. The moment she got slapped in the face. It felt so satisfying. Sukyangsha patiently listened as I shared my joy. Not long after, I curiously asked, are you still listening? Sukyangsha replied, I'm listening. Congratulations, Jiangsheng. I continued asking, you've been coming every day to tutor me lately. You must be exhausted, right? Why don't you take a couple of days off? I can study on my own. If I need anything, I'll just message you on QQ. Sukyangsha didn't say anything. I didn't hang up right away. You sound a little down. Did something happen? Is there anything I can help with? Those words left Sukyangsha stunned. She didn't think her tone was any different from usual. Nothing obvious anyway. Yet Jiangsheng could sense through a phone call that she was in a bad mood. Seeing her silent, I said, I know you don't like talking about things, but Sukyangsha, we're comrades now, aren't we? You've helped me so much. I want to help you too. Hearing that, Sukyangsha smiled helplessly. Okay. The next day, when I arrived at school, the homeroom teacher walked in with a grim expression. She looked very angry. Her eyes locked on me. Jiangsheng. Stand up. I stood up, confused, staring at the teacher. The teacher said, someone reported that you cheated on the monthly exam. Do you have anything to say for yourself? As soon as I heard the word cheating, I looked around the classroom. Everyone's eyes were on me. Especially Li Yan, his face full of smug satisfaction. I looked seriously at the teacher. Do you have any evidence that I cheated? The teacher frowned but said nothing. Your grades were terrible in the last monthly exam. But this time, your improvement is just drastic. It's hard to believe. To be safe, we've decided to give you a different test to retake. Do you have any objections? Hearing that I had to retake the test, I was naturally unhappy. Li Yan jumped up eagerly. See, I told you he cheated. If you got that score on your own, what are you afraid of? What's wrong with taking it again? Seeing him looking at me so smugly, I found it laughable. You reported me for cheating without any evidence. That's slander. If everyone were like you, reporting me every day, would I have to retake exams endlessly? I might as well stop attending class. As soon as I started talking, even Lu Yue looked at me in surprise. I usually avoid conflicts with others, but this time I was incredibly clear-headed. Is this really still the same me? She's known me for a long time, and knows me inside out, but even she now felt I'd changed a lot. Seeing me refute the accusation with solid reasoning, the homeroom teacher said, you can't blame others for doubting you. This retest is to prove your innocence. You don't want people whispering behind your back, right? You wouldn't want them to keep suspecting you, would you? Seeing the teacher insist like this, it seemed like even she didn't truly believe. I earned my grades with real effort. I smiled and said, Teacher, of course I can take the test again. I just think being questioned for no reason at all is absolutely ridiculous. We're classmates after all. For Li Yan to doubt me like this, what could his motive be? If I do even better next time, won't he just have more to say? So since he chose to make a baseless accusation, he should pay a price for it. If it turns out I didn't cheat, how about making him drop out? As soon as the word drop out was mentioned, the teacher hesitated. She wondered if that was going too far. Li Yan's grades were better than mine, so the teacher naturally favored him a bit. I looked at Li Yan and said, What? Aren't you the one insisting I cheated? Do you dare to bet? Li Yan immediately agreed. He angrily said to the teacher, Miss, I'm willing to stake my future on this. Everyone knows how bad Jiangsheng's grades used to be. I can confidently say he definitely cheated. Jiangsheng is just refusing to retake the test, making excuses and trying to delay. Li Yan had already convinced himself I was guilty. He told the teacher if it's confirmed that Jiang Cheng cheated, then he should also be expelled. I don't want to be in the same school as someone like him. Before the teacher could say anything, I had already agreed deal. Come to my office after class, the teacher said. With that, she walked out. Li Yan looked at me with a can't wait to see the show expression. Lu Yue looked at me too, and seeing that I actually gambled on expulsion, she couldn't help but advise me, Jiangcheng, are you sure about this bet? If they determine you cheated, you'll have to drop out. That would be even more humiliating. If I were you, I'd just admit it to the teacher. A monthly exam isn't such a big deal. As long as you apologize sincerely, I can even help you plead with the teacher. Since you beat me, I can let that slide. Seeing her act like she was doing this for my good, I smiled slightly. You think I copied the answers, don't you? That's why you're pretending to advise me kindly. Instead of advising me, why don't you go talk to Li Yan? He is your boyfriend's best buddy, after all. Even though Li Yan was the one confronting me, Song Jingnian was no innocent party either. Lu Yue was initially trying to help me, but seeing me reject her kindness, her expression turned cold. I'm trying to help you, can't you see that? Are you incapable of recognizing good intentions? Help me. I looked at Lu Yue with curiosity. What? Being a waitress wasn't working out. Now you regret it and want to find a guy to live off of? Hearing the words live off of, Lu Yue's face turned completely dark. Lately, her part-time job hasn't been going well. She already has a busy academic schedule. There are also many student council responsibilities. She gets home late almost every day, and the money she earns isn't even enough to cover expenses. I had spoiled her into being careless with money. Only now does she realize how hard it is to survive on her own, especially with me. She used to think I was just an arrogant rich kid venting my emotions, that I just wanted to make things hard for her for a few days. But now she's wondering, what's going on with Jiangcheng? Why hasn't he come crawling back? In the past, no matter how badly she treated him, he always clung to her. Seeing that Lu Yue didn't deny anything I said, I smiled slightly. Are you still thinking that after a few days of sulking, I'll come back and comfort you again? Lu Yue said coldly. Not necessary. I sneered. If you really think I'd come back to make it up to you, then you're just dreaming. If you want me back, you'd better come beg. Maybe if I pity you, I might treat you a little nicer. Maybe even give you some money. Lu Yue snapped. In your dreams. She didn't look at me again, but I wasn't in a rush. After class, I went to the teacher's office. They gave me a new test. After finishing it, a group of teachers graded the papers together, and the results came out. My score was indeed very good. It proved I didn't cheat on the monthly exam. The homeroom teacher was a bit surprised. Looks like you really didn't cheat. But why were your past grades so terrible? I thought back to how I used to be because of Lu Yue. I was immature and didn't take studying seriously. Recently, my family hired a new tutor, and the results speak for themselves. I returned to the classroom. The homeroom teacher and academic director came together. They announced the results. It was officially declared that I hadn't cheated. Li Yan, on the other hand, looked completely panicked. How is that possible? How could he not have cheated? The homeroom teacher looked stern. The atmosphere in our class has really gone downhill. Classmates should be supporting each other. But if you keep making wild guesses about classmates who've improved their scores, you're only discouraging them. I hope everyone learns from this. I looked at Li Yan. You said you'd drop out. You're not going to go back on your word, are you? Li Yan didn't say anything. Looks like he's backing out. So some people really can't stand by their own words. In that case, don't make bets next time, alright? Song Jinian saw his friend getting humiliated and tried to defend him. Jiangcheng, we're all classmates. There's no need to be like this. Li Yan was just looking out for you. Afraid you'd go astray if you didn't think things through. He didn't mean any harm. Just give him another chance. As soon as Song Jinian spoke, other classmates looked at me too. Yeah. Getting expelled is too harsh. I smirked. They really do respect Song Jinian. Whatever he says goes. I looked at Song Jinian. If you care so much about him, why don't you drop out in his place? My comment immediately drew all eyes. Jiangcheng, it was Li Yan who offended you, not Song Jinian. Why take it out on him? Seeing that everyone was now against me, I raised an eyebrow. I treat everyone equally. Is that so bad? If I were the one getting expelled today, would he speak up for me too? Song Jinian quickly said, of course I would speak up for you. All this time, I've been telling others to treat you better. I couldn't stand his fake nice guy act. Alright, Leanne, if you don't want to drop out, fine, but you're just someone who can't keep his word. If you won't drop out, then how about running 20 kilometers? Leanne looked at me. 20 kilometers. Isn't that basically a death sentence for me? He was never athletic to begin with. I sneered, if you can't do it, then just drop out obediently. Honestly, whether Leanne drops out or not doesn't affect me much. But if I don't make him pay, everyone else will think they can walk all over me too. After class, Leanne went to run the 20 kilometers. I didn't just sit idly there. I sat nearby, watching him run lap after lap. I had no intention of letting him off. He had no stamina. Soon he was so exhausted he was about to pass out. Song Jinian walked over. He said to me, Jiangsheng, Leanne already knows he was wrong. Just let him off this once. His health isn't good. Running 20 kilometers could really kill him. So you're saying, if I were driven to death by your rumors, then that would have been deserved. Song Jinian replied, but you're fine now, aren't you? You're not someone who would do something foolish. I shifted my gaze to Song Jinian's face. You really have no shame. Do you really think I should be like everyone else in class and just go along with whatever you say? If you don't like it, why don't you run in Leanne's place? Stop with the hypocritical concern. Just as Song Jinian was being attacked, Lu Yuwei came over. Jiangsheng, don't go too far. Jinian is just kindly reminding you. He's afraid if something happens, you won't be able to take responsibility. I turned to her. Oh, too bad it was your boyfriend who came picking a fight. If you don't want to be cursed at, stay away from me. The gifts you gave him before, they were all bought with my money. You don't actually think he wants nothing in return, and just likes the fact that you're poor and have a gambling addict for a dad. Song Jinian only knew that Lu Yuwei's father was a driver. He didn't know he was also a gambling addict. A gambler. Then what would happen to me if I stayed with her in the future? Wouldn't that just be a bottomless pit? Song Jinian glanced at Lu Yuwei. Seeing her expression turn grim, he didn't press further about her family. Song Jinian turned to me and said, Jiangsheng, you hate me this much, and you're going after my friend too. Is it because of Lu Yuwei? You think I stole her from you? Then I'll give her back to you. Lu Yuwei grabbed Song Jinian and said, don't say that kind of thing. I never even liked him. The two of them look so lovey-dovey. It made me look like the toxic supporting character. I started laughing. All right then. Lu Yuwei, just keep her for yourself. I don't recycle trash here. As for you saying I'm bullying Leanne, everyone in school knows it was him who bullied me. I'm already being quite generous. If he doesn't want to run, then just drop out. I'm not stopping him. Lu Yuwei saw I was beyond saving and said to Song Jinian, Jinian, look at him. He doesn't need our concern. If something really happens to Leanne, he'll regret it when it's too late. Let's go, she said, dragging Song Jinian away. Leanne had poor stamina. He collapsed after only running 10 kilometers and was taken to the hospital. I followed them to the hospital. Lu Yuwei looked at me gloatingly. Are you happy now? I smiled and said, of course I'm happy. Why wouldn't I be? Then I picked up my phone and called the hospital director. I asked him to arrange the best doctors, and I paid all of the medical expenses. In the hospital room, Song Jinian looked at Leanne waking up on the bed. Are you okay? Leanne opened his eyes and started acting pitiful, saying everything in his body hurt. I sneered. I interrupted him. The specialist already checked you out. You're completely healthy right now. You just have terrible stamina. My advice? Exercise more. Go to school tomorrow, and remember to finish the remaining 10 kilometers. Leanne widened his eyes. Are you trying to kill me? I sneered. What? Thinking about backing out? Then maybe just drop out instead. Leanne clenched his fist. I'll finish it tomorrow. If I don't finish it, then I'll never believe you again. Hearing that, I walked out of the ward. Leanne was fine. After getting in for and resting at the hospital, Song Jinian and Lu Yuwei sent him home. After I got home, I took photos of the payment receipts and diagnosis from the hospital. Then I posted them in the class group chat. Having seen too many staged accidents, I won't leave anyone a handle on me. After this incident, the other classmates who saw me showed more respect. Monday afternoon, just as I left school, I saw the girls standing at the gate. Judging by their uniforms, they were from First High, because Su Kyangsha also wears that school's uniform. The driver was already waiting at the gate. I was about to head to the car when Yang Qian stopped me. "You're Jiang Shun," I replied coldly. "Who are you?" Yang Qian smirked. "You're that high school student being kept by an older woman, right? People have been gossiping about you all over the forums. It even reached our school." I just smiled. Without getting angry, I calmly asked back, "Your name is Yang Qian?" Hearing that, Yang Qian was shocked, looking pale as she stared at me. "You know, I heard you even kept Lu Yue before. Is that true? Don't tell me you've fallen for me now. I'm not that kind of easy girl." She even covered her chest as she said it, as if I was about to molest her. I found it hilarious and glanced at her. "Doesn't your house have a mirror? Surely you've got a mirror at home. Go take a piss and look at yourself clearly. You think I'd be into someone like you?" With that, I slung my backpack and walked away. Hearing such an insult, Yang Qian stomped her foot angrily. "How can you talk like that? You're really awful." I completely ignored her and got into the car. Yang Qian stood there, the corners of her mouth slowly curling up. "Jiangshun, right? I'll remember you." When I got home, Su Kyangsha, who had been gone for days, finally showed up. I looked at her and said, "I thought you weren't coming back anymore." Su Kyangsha gave a light smile and explained, "No, things have just been a bit busy lately." I waved my hand and cut her off. "No need to explain. I'm already grateful that you're here to tutor me. If you've got other things to do, feel free." Even after how I treated her, she still thought about me in the end. Seeing what I said, Su Kyangsha nodded, then followed me to the study. After not seeing her for a few days, I had tons of questions I wanted to ask. While I was doing homework, Su Kyangsha sat beside me watching. Of course, she had also seen the online rumors. She was initially worried I might be upset, but seeing I seemed fine, she didn't bring it up in the end. Instead, she just focused on tutoring me. After the session, Su Kyangsha went home, and I kept reviewing late into the night before sleeping. The next day after school, just as I stepped out the school gate, Yang Qian suddenly appeared and shouted, "Jiangshun, about what you said to me last time, shouldn't you apologize?" Her voice was loud. People nearby all looked over. I couldn't help but sneer. "Are you sure it wasn't you who provoked me first?" Yang Qian looked pitiful, "But everyone online says that about you." I glanced at her. "Everyone says you're a lesbian too." Yang Qian looked cautious and asked, "Who said that?" Seeing that she actually believed it, I found it hilarious. Yang Qian suddenly blushed and asked, "You asked for my name last time. Does that mean you like me? If you confess to me, I might consider it. How about it?" I couldn't be bothered with her and kept walking forward. That's when I heard Su Kyangsha's voice from behind. "Jiangshun, wait for me. Let's go back together." Yang Qian's eyes widened as she grabbed her. "Suji, you know him." Su Kyangsha calmly replied, "I'm chasing him." Yang Qian was completely shocked. Even Su Kyangsha needs to chase someone. Normally, if she just nods, guys would be dying to be her boyfriend, right? But Su Kyangsha looked completely serious. Yang Qian kept asking, "So how far have you gotten?" Su Kyangsha sighed. "He's not into me yet." Even though she was my tutoring teacher, Su Kyangsha felt like I probably didn't like her. She thought Jiangsheng liked Lu Yue, and that maybe she was just being used as a pawn to get rid of Lu Yue. But just being by Jiangsheng's side, she was already happy. Hearing Su Kyangsha's words, Yang Qian couldn't help but glance at me. Su Kyangsha really had a thing for Jiangsheng. Back then, I was nothing more than Lu Yue's simp. Lu Yue never even looked at me. But now, Su Kyangsha, who was far better than Lu Yue in every way, was actually involved with me. From a distance, Lu Yue stared at our backs, looking utterly dejected. Song Jingnian and Li Yan followed behind her, wanting to comfort her, but had no idea how to start. They were frustrated too. Just a moment ago they thought someone like Su Kyangsha would never be into me. But in a blink of an eye, Su Kyangsha actually came up to talk to me first. Li Yan angrily shouted, "Is that Su Kyangsha blind or what? How could she fall for Jiangsheng? Doesn't she know what kind of person Jiangsheng is?" Song Jingnian had a dark expression. "Why is it that someone like Jiangsheng, it's bad enough he's rich, but he even managed to win over someone like Su Kyangsha? Could it be that they just haven't worked hard enough?" Sukyangsha and I stood at the school gate. Yang Qian was standing next to her. A lot of people were watching Sukyangsha. Sukyangsha's gaze fell on me. Let's go eat first. Then Yang Qian awkwardly said, I really didn't see your worth before, Jiangsheng. Don't hold it against me, okay? I couldn't be bothered to argue with her. I just turned to Sukyangsha and asked, You're friends with her? My tone clearly showed some disdain. Sukyangsha glanced at Yang Qian. No. Yang Qian was shocked. Did she not even qualify to be a friend anymore? She quickly ran over to Jiangsheng. It's all my fault. I apologize to you. I sneered coldly. You're the first person who ever told me to my face that I was kept by an older woman. Yang Qian apologized. It's my fault. It's all those online rumors. I'll look into who started them. I'll find out the truth. The Su family's car had already arrived. Yang Qian stood by the roadside. She saw Sukyangsha and me getting into the car together. She politely waved at us. Then I won't bother you guys. See you next time. The car started moving. I turned to look at Sukyangsha. I didn't expect you to know her. Sukyangsha said helplessly, we just played together occasionally. I looked at Sukyangsha and sighed. I really don't know what flaws you have. You're beautiful, good at studying, and your family background is great. But you showed up at our school gate like this today and walked so closely with me. Aren't you afraid people will gossip? Sukyangsha looked at me. What kind of gossip? I chuckled. Everyone online says I'm being kept by an older woman. They talk behind my back. My reputation isn't great. Sukyangsha shook her head. I don't care. Do you need the school bell to keep you? I couldn't help but laugh at that. The driver dropped us off at the restaurant. Sukyangsha and I went in to eat. We had just sat down when my phone buzzed with a message. It was from Lu Yue. I saw the words I'm sorry. I froze for a second. She actually apologized. Looks like she really doesn't want me getting close to Sukyangsha now. Women are always like this. Ignore them and they come back. Only then would she respond. Sukyangsha ordered a few dishes, all of which were my favorites. Has Uncle Jiang still not returned recently? I nodded. He's quite busy. Speaking of this, I felt uneasy. In my previous life, my father died in a car accident before the college entrance exam. But this time, I'm mentally prepared. When the time comes, I won't let him go out. That should prevent the accident from happening. Sukyangsha saw me chewing seriously, but couldn't tell what I was thinking. She looked at me, realizing I often looked like this when deep in thought. Her intuition told her I must have some kind of secret. Meanwhile, Lu Yue had returned home. Her father, who had been gambling constantly, was back. He was in Lu Yue's room. Mr. Lu had a stern face. How are things between you and Jiangsheng lately? Lu Yue's expression also turned cold. Not much. What do you mean not much? Didn't I tell you to win him back? You still haven't. Seeing her father like this, Lu Yue retorted. Why must I win him back? He's already unblocked me. Should I still go beg him? Don't I have any dignity? Although she regretted that Jiangsheng was with Sukyangsha. Seeing her father like this made Lu Yue feel relieved that she had broken up with me. Right after she finished speaking, her father slapped her across the face. Bitch, if you won't suck up to him, where are we going to get money to spend? Hurry up. How much money do you have on you right now? Hand it over. It was obvious he had lost a bet again. Lu Yue looked at her father. You gambled again? Mind your own damn business. Don't be disgusting like your mother. Believe it or not, I'll beat you to death. Back when you were with Jiangsheng, things were great. We had more than enough money. Even if I gambled, it didn't affect anything. But you just had to go be with that poor loser. Now look what you've done. You let such a big fish get away. You better get him back quickly. Otherwise, I won't let you off. Lu Hu said as he walked out. He left angrily. Lu Yue then searched under her bed. She found that the money she had hidden there had been taken by her father. After dinner, Sukyangsha and I walked out of the restaurant. It was raining outside. I saw Sukyangsha off. The driver soon drove her away. Just as I was about to go in, I heard a familiar voice, Jiangsheng. I turned around. I saw Lu Yue walking out from the shadows. She wasn't holding an umbrella. I had no idea when she had arrived. She was completely drenched. Lu Yue stared at me, her eyes bloodshot. Seeing her like this, I was momentarily stunned. Lu Yue suppressed her voice and asked, Are you really planning to be with Sukyangsha? I glanced at her. Weren't you the one who hated me clinging to you? You said every day I stuck around. felt like a nightmare to you. That was what Lu Yue personally said to me before she died. Remembering that, I continued, "Why are you here?" Lu Yue, eyes red, stared at me. "Are you really that happy being with Su Qiangsha?" I sneered. "Yeah, I'm quite happy. She treats me well and like you. But you, someone who already has a boyfriend, why are you coming to me?" Lu Yue shook her head. "If I broke up with Song Jingnian, would you still like me? Like before?" I responded sarcastically, "No." Hearing that, Lu Yue realized I truly had no intention of getting back with her. I shot back. "What is it this time? Need money again? It's only when you're broke that you show up in front of me with that expression." Lu Yue looked at me. "You're overthinking it. I just wanted to come see you. I'm leaving now." She turned to leave right after speaking, but soon after walking away, she collapsed. I called Zhou Shen over. Zhou Shen saw Lu Yue lying there. "Isn't this Miss Lu? What happened to her?" I waved my hand and said, "I don't know. She just fainted." Zhou Shen touched her forehead. "Her forehead's burning. She must have a fever." "What now? Should we help her?" I replied impatiently. "Bring her inside. Find a doctor for her." Zhou Shen asked hesitantly, "Should we let her stay in her old room?" I thought for a moment and said, "Didn't Lu Hu have a room here before? Let her stay there for now. In her current state, she's only fit to stay in the chauffeur's room." Zhou Shen had her moved to the servant's room. Then she called a doctor over. The doctor confirmed she just had a fever. Nothing serious. So, she was left to rest. The next morning, I sat at the dining table. I asked Zhou Shen, "How is Lu Yue?" She woke up around dawn. Left early in the morning. I looked at Zhou Shen in surprise. "Really? I thought she was still here." Zhou Shen said, "I told her to wait until you woke up, but she wouldn't listen. Sometimes I really don't understand her." I nodded seriously and said, "I think she's mentally unwell too." When I arrived at school, Lu Yue saw me come in. She kept her head down and ignored me. She seemed to have returned to her cold demeanor from before. I thought she was really too much. After all, I saved her last night. She didn't even thank me. I sat in my seat and ignored her too. Does she really think I'm still going to be her simp like before? After class, Song Jingnian came over. He and Lu Yue had to attend a student council meeting. They left together. Song Jingnian looked at Lu Yue and asked, "Are you feeling better today?" Lu Yue glanced at him. "I'm fine." Song Jingnian felt a bit uneasy. Was Lu Yue really going to break up with him for Jiangchun? Lu Yue didn't say anything. Her father had taken her money yesterday. She was still in a bad mood. Seeing her so quiet, Song Jingnian said, "Yue, if you really want to be with Jiangchun, I'll support you both." Lu Yue looked at Song Jingnian. "You're overthinking it. I have no feelings for Jiangchun. I won't be with him either." I just felt upset seeing him with Su Qiangsha. I didn't want to let them off that easily. Song Jingnian smiled and said, "That's good, Yue. No matter what, I'll always support you." After that, Lu Yue spent every day with Song Jingnian. She didn't hang around in front of me. I didn't bother with them either. I just focused on studying. One afternoon, I left school a bit late. There weren't many people at the school gate anymore. "Young Master Jiang." I was stopped as soon as I came out. I looked up and saw Lu Hu. Seeing it was him, I frowned with disdain. "You're here to see Lu Yue?" Lu Hu looked at me and said, "Yes, I came to check on her. I've been scolding her a lot lately. It's all her fault. She insisted on being with that guy surnamed Song, completely clueless about what's good for her. Don't be mad at her." I furrowed my brows. "I'm not mad about anything." Just then, Lu Yue and Song Jingnian came out of school. They saw me standing there with Lu Hu. She walked over and pulled me aside. "What are you doing here? Last time Lu Hu took her money and disappeared for days. Now that he's back, he must be broke again." Lu Hu rolled his eyes at her. "I'm just chatting with my son-in-law." "What's it to you?" "Back off." Lu Yue snapped. "Who's your son-in-law?" She glanced at me. "Why are you still standing here? Leave already." "What, do you really want to be my dad's son-in-law? Look at yourself, do you even deserve it?" I was stunned that Lu Yue said that. This woman always speaks to me like that. It seems like every time she treats me the same way. I froze for a few seconds. "You're overthinking it. Who would be into you?" After saying that, I walked away quickly. Lu Hu looked at my back, son-in-law. Don't worry, I'll have Yue confine you in a few days. He tried to catch up, but Lu Yue stopped him. She blocked his way. Lu Hu was furious. Lu Yue. What do you mean by this? Lu Yue, you won't work hard yourself, and now you won't let me try either. I finally got to see Jiangchun, and you drove him away again. Can't you do something useful? I was already in the car, and saw Lu Yue stopping her father. Can you please stop coming to school? Lu Hu shouted, I have to come. Where's the money? Do you have any? All you do is date every day. Don't you know how to make money? Lu Yue said, I don't have money. You took all of it last time. That was my college tuition. So, what have you been doing lately? Still dating that boyfriend of yours? Lu Hu got agitated at the mention of it. Lu Yue mocked, that's my business. You better leave now. I have to go to work. Lu Hu shouted, stop yelling. All you know is working. How much can you even make from that crappy job a month? You'd be better off cozying up to Jiangchun. Look what you just did to him. He was furious. After speaking, Lu Hu couldn't help but raise his hand at Lu Yue. But then remember they were at school. I'll deal with you later. Give me the money now. If you don't, I'll go ask Jiangchun. Lu Yue pulled a few hundred yuan from her pocket. This is all I've got. Just this. That's not enough. Lu Hu shouted angrily. Go get more money, now. You hear me? You don't want them to chop off your dad's hand, do you? Lu Yue glared. If someone chops your hand off, you deserve it. You shouldn't have gambled. Your life or death has nothing to do with me. After saying that, Lu Yue got on the bus. Song Jingnian came out only after everyone had left. He only knew Lu Hu was a driver, but didn't realize he was Lu Yue's father. And now, even though Lu Yue has no money, he still came asking her for more. I sat in the car for a while, then told the driver to go, thinking about how Lu Yue yelled at me. I found it kind of funny. I don't even like her, but she's worried I'll go after her. When I got home, Zhou Sheng greeted me with a grin. Young master is home. Who got you so worked up? Seeing my gloomy face, Zhou Shen immediately realized I was upset. I shook my head and said, it's nothing, just a bothersome person. If Su Qiangsha comes by later, tell her to find me in the study. Lately Su Qiangsha has been coming later than usual. I don't even know what she's been busy with. I had just gone upstairs when Su Qiangsha showed up. Young master seems a bit unhappy today. Su Qiangsha asked, what happened? Zhou Shen didn't know, but judging from his mood, it's probably related to Lu Yue. Su Qiangsha went upstairs and saw me with the computer on, smiling happily at the screen. Su Qiangsha walked over. I looked at her. You're here. Su Qiangsha nodded. I was delayed by something. You've been busy lately. She used to come early every day and finish school earlier than me, but recently, she seems to have a lot going on. Hearing me mention it, Su Qiangsha nodded slightly, but it won't affect the tutoring. I'll still try to come by. You've improved a lot lately. I looked at Su Qiangsha and asked, you're going to university in Beijing, right? Hearing my question, Su Qiangsha was stunned. Her family actually wants her to go already, but she hasn't left yet. She looked at me and asked, how did you know? I smiled slightly. Of course, I knew. I lived through it before. I stretched lazily. Then let's work hard toward that goal. Su Qiangsha looked at me in surprise. You want to go to Beijing? I nodded. I just want to give it my all. Su Qiangsha looked at me, her confidence restored. And you're feeling better now. I smiled. I was just pissed off by Lu Yue. I told her about what happened at the school gate. Isn't it ridiculous? She just likes Song Jingnian. It's not like he's the only guy out there. Exactly. Su Qiangsha looked at me. Our Jiangchun is the best. He wouldn't even want her. Hearing that, I looked at Su Qiangsha. Even though I had gone through a past life and thought my heart had turned cold, whenever Su Qiangsha talked to me like this, I still felt my heart flutter a little. After a while, I finally calmed down. Do you talk like this with everyone? Su Qiangsha blushed. No. I'm not that casual with people. So that means I'm different to you, right? Su Qiangsha heard what I said and explained. I promised Uncle Jiang I would take good care of you. As soon as she mentioned my dad, I immediately felt bored. She's too obedient, isn't she? If your family wants you to be with someone else in the future, would you agree to? Su Qiangsha looked at me with a complicated expression. Seeing that my question stumped her, I smiled and said, all right, I'm just joking with you. Don't take it so seriously. You're making me feel like I'm bullying you. I felt like maybe Sukyangsha doesn't really like me that much. Sukyangsha, do you have someone you like? Sukyangsha looked puzzled that I'd ask that. She was a bit confused why I asked that. I smiled and said I was just curious. Even though my dad asked you to take care of me, and you agreed, you should still have your own thoughts, right? If there's someone you like, don't force yourself. Sukyangsha looked at me. She didn't speak until a while later. Yes, we've been together every day lately. Are you starting to get tired of me? There was a bit of hurt in her eyes. Sukyangsha looked at me and asked, why would you ask that? I smiled and said I was just curious. Even though my dad asked you to take care of me, and you agreed, you should still have your own thoughts, right? If there's someone you like, don't force yourself. Sukyangsha looked at me. She didn't speak until a while later. Yes, we've been together every day lately. Are you starting to get tired of me? There was a bit of hurt in her eyes. I hadn't even spoken yet when she stood up and said, I'm heading back for today. I stopped her. Hey, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean to chase you away. Did Sukyangsha just leave without staying? Meanwhile, when Lu Yue got home after work, Lu Hong was still there. Normally, he would have left by now, but he had no money, so he came back. He searched the house for a long time, but found no money, so he just sat there smoking. When he saw Lu Yue come in, he said, worked all night again, made just a few bucks. Lu Yue glared at him. Even if it's just a few bucks, I earn it through my own efforts. Lu Hong continued, what's the use of your effort? The money Jiang Sheng gave you before, you couldn't earn that much in a lifetime. Lu Yue, don't think that just because you've done a little well, you're something great. This world runs on family background. Look at the life we lived when you stayed at the Jiang family, and look at how we live now. Lu Yue shouted angrily, I won't do such things. Aren't you afraid of being charged with fraud one day? If you get arrested, your life will be ruined. Don't drag me down with you. And speaking of family background, if that's so important, then why didn't you try harder as a father? Lu Hong was stunned by her words, then said to Lu Yue, I was just unlucky back then. And I married someone as useless as your mom. Always sick all the time. That's why I became so poor. That's why I want you to be with Jiang Chun. What's the use of being with Song Jingnian? After you to get married, you'll still be living a poor life. The Jiang family is so rich. Jiang Shun likes you so much. If you just treat him a bit better, that idiot would be wrapped around your finger. Lu Yue shook her head. I don't like him. And I won't be with someone I don't like. Lu Hong snorted. What's love worth anyway? I didn't tell you to actually love Jiang Shun. I just told you to get his money. What's wrong with that? Lu Yue retorted. I won't do that. He and I are not even from the same world. Even though he had to admit, life was indeed easier with me around. Seeing her father looking so smug made her really unhappy. Lu Hong drove her mother away and abused her since childhood. Now he just wanted to use her to live comfortably. All he ever does is gamble. How is he even worthy? Lu Hong sneered from the side. If I hadn't made you this good looking, do you think anyone would even notice you? I know your grades are good in school, but back when I was in school, I wasn't bad either. That Jiang Chun, what's so great about him? His test scores weren't as good as mine back then. He only became a boss because his family has money. As for Lu Yue, she just went straight into her room and closed the door. The next day at school, I saw Lu Yue. When she walked in, there were bruises on her face. I was stunned for a moment. Lu Yue, was she beaten up? I thought of her argument with her dad yesterday. Could it be that he hit her when she got home? Lu Yue sat down nearby. Everyone else saw it, but didn't dare say a word. Even Song Jingnian noticed her appearance and was startled to see she was injured. Lu Yue sat there silently, saying nothing. Looking at her stubborn but unlucky expression, I couldn't help but ask, did your dad hit you? Hearing my question, Lu Yue glanced at me with a cold face. Her eyes were full of mockery. What? Trying to help me again? Fine, give me a few million then. He owes a lot of gambling debt. Give me a few million, and I'll date you, how's that? I instantly lost my temper. I just asked casually, and you go asking for millions, talking about dating me. You've got some imagination. Lu Yue lowered her head with a cold expression. If that's the case, then stop meddling in my business. Turns out it wasn't her dad who hit her. It was the debt collectors who came to their home early that morning to cause trouble for her father, and he got hurt in the process too. Thinking back to her time living at the Jiang family, she never had to go through this. Her father had a high salary. Plus, I used to give her some money. Compared to back then, life now is a complete mess. But she didn't want to get close to me anymore. If she really followed her father's orders and kept stringing me along, taking my money, she was afraid she'd turn into a jerk herself someday. Become just like her father. I looked at Lu Yue with deep affection and said, I actually care about you. The word care made Lu Yue freeze for a moment. She looked at me. I smiled and said, I care about whether you're doing well now. As long as I know you're doing badly, I'm relieved. Lu Yue's face instantly turned very unpleasant. Seeing how mean I was being, she finally spoke. Don't tell me, you actually think you'll be happy with Su Qiangshi? With her qualifications, she's got everything going for her. How could someone like her fall for an idiot like you? She's clearly getting close to you with ulterior motives. I gritted my teeth. What happens between us is none of your business. Besides, you're injured now. Yet your so-called boyfriend didn't even come to check on you. When your dad came yesterday, he was nearby. But he hid far away. Lu Yue, don't tell me I dumped you. And now he's dumping you too. Those words of mine made Lu Yue's face turn even more sour. Just as I said, Song Jingnian still hadn't come to see her after class. He looked like he was very busy. Wang Yan came over and looked at Lu Yue. He said, Campus Belle Lu, what happened to your face? Did someone hit you? Lu Yue shook her head. It's nothing. Wang Yan glanced at me. Do you need to call the police or something? Do you want us to help? Lu Yue shook her head. No need. Seeing how concerned Wang Yan was for Lu Yue, I asked, what's Song Jingnian busy with? Wang Yan turned to look at Song Jingnian, then said to me, Jingnian's been busy writing a speech lately. The teacher asked him to write it. So what? I scoffed. Then he really must be busy. Lu Yue's injured, and he doesn't even care. Wang Yan heard what I said, and quickly replied, that's between the two of them. They know what's going on. What do you mean by that? If Lu the campus belle got hurt, of course Jingnian is the one who cares most. Jingnian treats her the best. They'll probably even apply to the same university. Obviously, you won't get in. Even if your family has money, you can't pull strings for the national exam. While Wang Yan was talking, Song Jingnian was listening nearby, wishing he could cover his mouth. He was already trying to keep a low profile, to disappear, but Wang Yan just kept blabbing nonstop, making sure everyone knew about his relationship with Lu Yue. Song Jingnian was full of regret. Lu Yue's father was a gambling addict. He didn't want to be involved at all. But if he broke up with her now, what would people think of him? What would Lu Yue think of him? I looked at Lu Yue. What school are you planning to apply to? In our previous life, both Lu Yue and Song Jingnian got into Yuncheng University, but I was still curious. Why didn't Lu Yue apply to Qingbai? Back then, I even thought it must have been because of me. Hearing my words, Lu Yue said, why are you asking that? I waved my hand. Just curious, I said. I want to see which schools you to pick. Maybe I'll apply to the same one. If we all know each other, it'd be nice to go to the same university. That way I can also see if you two will really last long. Wang Yan mocked from the side. Are you joking? Your grades are so bad. Even if you've improved recently, you can't even make it into the top 10 of our class. Are you sure you can get into the same school as them? Lu Yue also seemed to think I was a bit clueless. Join us applying to Qingbai, then. How about it? Lu Yue did want to apply to Qingbai. That way, she could get away from Lu Hu. And she could also go to Beijing to look for her mother. I was surprised and asked, not applying to Yuncheng University. Lu Yue replied, why should I apply to Yuncheng University? Maybe it's a ceiling for you, but not for me. I smiled and said, all right, then I'll apply to Qingbai too. Wang Yan found my words funny. He returned to Song Jingnian's side and sat down. He said to Song Jingnian, Jiangcheng is hilarious. He actually wants to apply to Qingbai. Does he really think his grades are that good right now? Song Jingnian looked up at me. He used to want me to like Lu Yue again. But after Su Qiangshi appeared, Song Jingnian felt that hope was fading. He looked at me again and said to Wang Yan, Do you think Jiang Sheng still likes Lu Yue? Wang Yan heard Song Jingnian's question and replied, if he dares like Lu Yue again, I'll curse him to death. Song Jingnian glanced at Wang Yan. Having a friend who totally didn't get your intentions was really exhausting. In the afternoon, Song Jingnian and Lu Yue went to a meeting together. Then he finally asked her, what happened with your injury? Did your dad hit you? Lu Yue said, no, someone came looking for me, and a conflict broke out. Song Jingnian asked, was it about money? He saw something yesterday and could guess a bit. Lu Yue nodded. Song Jingnian looked at her and finally gathered the courage to say what was on his mind. You can't go on like this forever. Should we ask Jiang Sheng for help? Lu Yue looked at Song Jingnian in confusion. Why would I ask him for help? Song Jingnian continued, weren't you tutoring him before? Why don't you start tutoring him again now? The way we treated him before wasn't exactly nice. After all, he is the young master. We should try to please him a bit. He probably wouldn't mind one more tutor. Lu Yue rejected the idea without thinking. No, I already fired him. And he wouldn't beg me either. Even if she's poor, she still has dignity. Song Jingnian continued, so what? It's just earning money by tutoring. It pays better than working part-time at a cafe. And you can settle that other issue too. Seeing him push her toward Jiang Sheng, Lu Yue felt uncomfortable. We're dating right now. And you want me to tutor him? Aren't you upset about that? Song Jingnian smiled. Why would I be upset? You don't even like him anyway. For Jiang Sheng being able to spend money on you, I'm sure he'd be happy. Lu Yue looked at him angrily. Now, everyone at school knows about him and Su Qiangsha. If I go to him now, what would that look like? I won't do something I dislike just for money. Song Jingnian continued. Sooner or later, Su Qiangsha will find out. And besides, you wouldn't want to see him and Su Qiangsha end up in a miserable situation either, right? Lu Yue didn't respond, but deep down she agreed with Song Jingnian. Seeing her go silent, Song Jingnian probed, if you feel awkward about it, I can go talk to Jiang Sheng. Ask him to let you be his tutor again. Trust me, I can handle this. Yue, no matter what, you still have to finish high school. If your dad keeps this up, I don't think you'll even be able to graduate high school. Lu Yue looked at Song Jingnian, a bit angry. So you think if I leave Jiang Sheng, I won't be able to survive? Song Jingnian shook his head. That's not it. Before he could finish, Lu Yue cut him off. Jiang Sheng is only acting like this to provoke me. But there's no way I'll ever bow to him. If I go to him now with my dad in the state, dragging him into it, would I even have a conscience? After saying that, Lu Yue didn't linger. She went straight to the multimedia room for the meeting. After pay class was dismissed in the afternoon, I sat under a tree to rest. Song Jingnian came to talk to me. He asked me to let Lu Yue continue tutoring. He said she was in a difficult situation. He hoped I'd help, and even implied she still liked me. I refused to be a fool, mocked the two of them for being fake, and turned away. Song Jingnian looked at my back and sighed. I even gave up Lu Yue. Yet she's still like this. Looks like I have no choice but to talk to Lu Yue again. When Lu Yue saw Song Jingnian, she asked, where did you go? Song Jingnian replied glumly, I just went to see Jiang Sheng. He said if you go to him, he'll give you a job. You just need to have a better attitude. Lu Yue didn't understand. I already told you not to bring this up again. Why did you go see him? Song Jingnian tried to persuade her. It's less than a year left. Just endure it a bit and it'll pass. Once we leave Yuncheng, everything will get better. You think I want to go to him? You have no idea. He even said hurtful things because of you. I don't mind being wronged. But can't you understand how hard this is for me? Lu Yue looked at him in silence. Song Jingnian lowered his head and continued, make sure you talk to him nicely. He used to like you so much. If you just sweet-talk him a little, he'll forgive you. And tell him, we've already broken up. Let's not appear together in front of him anymore. Lu Yue glanced at him. Break up. She immediately remembered what I said today. Seeing her unhappy, Song Jingnian said, Yue, it's just a fake breakup. In my heart, you're still the best. We're just doing this to appease him. After graduation, we'll go to Qinghai together. He wants to get in, but there's no way he can. You have no idea how much I like you. Don't you know? Lu Yue shook her head. Jingnian, you really don't have to wrong yourself like this. Song Jingnian gave her an encouraging look. I'm fine. Go ahead. I'm still writing in the classroom. Lu Yue then walked over. She stood right in front of me. I felt like she was blocking the light. I looked up at her. What's wrong?